Hi, to write a solution for cocktail salt, first we need to understand what is it. So cocktail salt and comb salt here is both a variant of bubble salt, whereas comb salt is, in a way, we can say is a bubble salt that has gaps between the comparing pairs. And we can also say cocktail salt is a bubble salt but bidirectional when looping through the array. So without further ado, let's just write the function and let it to demonstrate itself. So function cocktail sort takes in an input array, and first thing we do, check the length of the input array. If it's smaller than 2, return the input array. Then we can declare some variables. So first thing we need is the swapped indicator, right? The second thing we need a index for forward and have it equals to 0 first. So this is going to be the index when we are looping through the array from left to right. We can use it to initialize our index value for the for loop. Same thing goes for the index for backward, right? So this could be equal to input array dot length first minus 1. So it's going to point to the last element inside the array, last index of the last element inside the array. So then we can write our function. It's going to be a do while loop. Well, it's going to check the value inside the swap. Then by the beginning of the do block, we first declare swap equals to false. Then we will do the for loop from left to right first. So it's going to be let integer equals to 0, which is our index for forward, and I is supposed to be smaller than index for backward first. And I++, same old implementation as the bubble sort. So if input array at index of I is bigger than input array at the index of I plus 1, we call a function called swap function, and it's going to take in input array reference and integer 1, integer 2, index 1, index 2, so it's going to be I and I plus 1. Okay, so let's write our swap function. So it's going to be function swap, takes in the input array, takes in the index 1, index 2, then declare a temp placeholder, pass in one of the values, replace the values in this placeholder with the one we want to swap it with, and replace the other placeholder with the value we stored in our temp placeholder. Yes, this will do. So after the swap take place, we would then set our indicator to true. Alright. So after this for block is done, our sorting from left to right is finished, and then we can check if swapped is true, then continue. If it's not true, meaning that there are no more values to sort in our array, then we break the do while loop and go to the next step, right? So if it doesn't break, it means our swap is still equals to true in this case. So yeah, let's try write another for block. But before that, because we have done a iteration from left to right, then in a way we can say that the last element is already the max value inside this array, right? So what we could do here is trying to get our function ignore the last index of the input array. We can do that by using our index for backward value and for backward minus minus, so that when we write this and use our let I equals to index value for backward minus 1, we can get the values that are, if it's the first layer, the third to last element. So I is supposed to be bigger or equals to our index for forward, right? And have I minus minus. So in this case, right, if we are getting this value here, and we can check input array at the value of I is bigger than input array at the value of I plus 1 still, because we ask our I, we initialize our I in a way that it's still going to have a value on its right, to compare itself from left to right, even though we are going we are sorting the array going from right to left direction. So we can still use the same function here, takes in the input array, then passing the first index and second index. So the function is a lot cleaner if we write it this way. So after it returns true, we will end our for loop. After this for block is done, the first value will be the first value inside the array will be the minimum value. So we can then say index for forward plus plus, therefore limit the length of the input array that's taken inside our logic again. So by the end of this do while block, I think our array will be sorted. So let's, by the end of it, return input array. Okay, let's test out our solution. Cocktail sort an array, slice, then call the function here. Okay, so let temp equals to input array I. It's not working because we don't have variable I here. Okay. Okay, I think this will do. So let's try again. As you can see, our array is sorted, and this function, like the old bubble sort, could be used to sort float and the negative values as well. Let's test it out to be sure. As you can see, again, our array is sorted, which is great. So this is typically how we can write a cocktail sort in JavaScript. Thank you for watching.